Hello. Thank you for joining us for the second presentation of Visions. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Marissa, and today the second presentation is what is the Michigan Assistive Technology Program and how can it help? Before we get started, I just want to make sure everyone is aware that there is hearing assistance at the very back table, and we can help you get that set up if you need it. There's bathrooms in the hall. Anyone else? There's staff in the back if anyone else needs anything. We're here to help. So let's get into it. The Michigan Assistive Technology Program, MATP, is a service for individuals with disabilities by individuals with disabilities. The MATP provides demonstrations, training, and loans of assistive technology to individuals, families, community organizations, businesses, schools, and other entities. Today, we will learn much more about the program, what is available for demonstration and short-term loan, and much more. We are very excited to welcome Jaleesa Irwin, who is an outdoor recreation assistive technology specialist at MATP, to talk with us today. Thank you, and welcome to Jaleesa.
Very much. Thank you. So, as mentioned, Michigan Assistive Technology Program is who we are, and I'm going to kind of do an overview of AT and kind of talk about some devices that we have. So we will get right into that. So I am the presenter. I am Jaleesa Irwin. I am MATP's Outdoor Rec AT specialist. And as mentioned, a really cool thing about our program is that we are people with disabilities for people with disabilities. So I myself have a disability. I'm neurodivergent. I really enjoy the outdoors. I love hiking. I love sort of biking. Love going fishing, hunting, you name it. I like outdoors. So with my passions and my personal disability, I kind of combined that and made an outdoor rec AT program. So that is the one little subcategory of Michigan Assistive Technology Program. So on the screen, I have an image of myself standing in front of Lake Superior in the UP, and I have my hair in a messy bun, as I do today. I have a backpack on my back, and I have sunglasses on my head, and I'm smiling because, like I said, hiking is my favorite thing to do, and I absolutely love the UP. So the Michigan Assistive Technology Program, or MATP, is a free, federally funded program that provides AT-related supports around the entire state of Michigan. We serve people of all ages. We provide demonstrations, loan programs, awareness information, trainings, technical assistance, and we also have resources. So again, MATP is by people with disabilities, for people with disabilities. They're allies and other community members. So we have a lending library. We have more than 1,700 items in our inventory. And our lending library offers short-term and long-term loans to help people identify what works for them and doesn't work for them. It's kind of like a try before you buy. You don't purchase anything from us. We just kind of show you how the device works. And if it works for you, then you can go and purchase it from wherever we purchased it from. I always use can openers as an example because a lot of folks, might buy one can opener and they cannot stand it. So we have like 4 different types of can openers for folks to try out, and they get to try each one, and they don't have 4 different can openers in their cabinet. They only have one now because they tried it out. And we are always updating our inventory. So if there's any time where you're like, hey, I saw this device as seen on TV, then that's something that we can look into purchasing. See if you can try it out before you go and buy it. So what is AT? Does anyone have any idea what AT is? Right. Yes, exactly. And that's what we define AT as, or assistive technology. So it's any item, piece of equipment, software, app that people use to help them do what they want to do. So that's including older adults, people with disabilities, anyone. So on the screen, I do have a couple examples of AT. I have an individual using a walker. So when people hear AT, they think medical equipment, right? Like walkers, wheelchairs, um, you know, seeing canes, whatever it may be, they consider that AT. You also have like doorknob openers. So this kind of it's a doorknob grip. So this would go onto a doorknob and just kind of give you that extra grip to kind of open the door. Pill reminders. I just started using a pill reminder because I kept on forgetting to take my pills at night. And then something as simple as a rock. Like if a rock is something that calms you, this is the image on this slide is of a really shiny, smooth rock. And a lot of folks use that for anxiety, and they can, kind of just rub the rock and it calms them. A lot of times I'll keep a fidget in my pocket to play with, or sometimes I even keep rocks, whatever I have on hand. So our program offers a bunch of different subcategories and what, I guess, type of assistive technology that you're looking for. So we help people with disabilities gain access to AT devices that can support community living, low vision, mental health, neurodiversity, outdoor recreation, gaming, gardening, environmental controls, hearing loss, reading, parenting with a disability, AAC devices, cooking, crafting, organizing, calendar reminders, and to connect with family and friends. So AAC, I always have trouble pronouncing this, augmentative and alternative communication. So folks who might not speak by mouth and they need to communicate through like a communication board type of thing. And there's a bunch of, it could be an iPad, it could be like a picture board, it could be a bunch of different items. And we have specialists in each of these categories. We have a daily living specialist, we have outdoor recreation specialist, me, we have AAC specialists, and with those specialists, that is their passion. Like our gaming specialist loves gaming, and our AAC specialist loves AAC devices. And same with outdoor recreation for me. And as I mentioned before, we travel the entire state of Michigan. So on this slide, I have a picture of our trailer that has a logo on it that says Outdoor Recreation, Michigan Assistive Technology Program. And in that trailer, I have 7 different e-bikes. And I take them up to the UP. I take them all the way down here. Wherever it may be, I travel everywhere. So the trailer is parked in a parking lot by the Mackinac Bridge. So does anyone have a favorite piece of AT that they use daily or only sometimes when they want to do outdoor activities or whatever? Yes.
I use Libby.
Libby, yes, Libby is a great app. So the Libby app is actually, if you have a library card, it's an app that you can download on your phone, and you type in your library card number, and it gives you a bunch of different books that your local library has. The only downfall to that is that in rural areas, their libraries aren't that big, and so you don't get the greatest books. It kind of works like a regular library where you go and you check out a book on your phone. You can read it, and then it also has audiobooks available as well. But big libraries like this, there's a lot more to offer book-wise. My favorite piece of, yes, purple shirt.
I only use it when my mom does on her phone reminder apps. So
Yes.
stuff, appointments or stuff that I need or that he needs to get done for me.
Yes.
Today she goes go trip for an hour and Friday I have to go trip. So.
Yes. So I use my calendar reminder app all the time because, like I said, I'm traveling all the time. I'm doing demonstrations. I use Google Calendar because that's what's on my phone. I like how you can put like a description of where you're going, what are you doing, who are you seeing? Because with a lot of people, I kind of forget sometimes. Also, with my job, I use probably every time I travel, I use Google Maps. I enjoy, one, knowing where I'm going, Two, we drive for the company vehicle is a big truck, and I like to scope out the parking lots before, I go to a place. Especially if I'm taking the trailer, if there's a place that I'm gonna go to and it has a tiny, tiny parking lot that smart cars can fit in, I can't park there. So I need to be able to figure out where I'm gonna park in that area. In my personal life, like I said, I love fishing. I love trout fishing, so a lot of times I'm going to rivers and I'm scoping out the spots, what the river looks like, because you can put on satellite view and that's gonna give you like an idea of, what you're gonna be walking into. I like how it tells you when traffic's gonna happen or how long or if there's gonna be a delay or if everything's on time. Google Maps is my savior. We have different types of fidgets on the screen as well. I call the one fidget that kind of looks like a bubble at the tip of a stick, I call that the bubble stick. I don't know if that's the real name, but you twirl it and whirl it and it kind of expands. There's another device on there that's metal rollers, and that's called the Oh No roller, and it's just a type of fidget. And then a lot of folks use Alexa for reminders, for looking up recipes, whatever it may be. People ask Alexa to do. Yeah, call people. My kids use it for music, so it's great for everything. So daily living AT, and again, this is just a broad overview of what we have in our inventory. And we have some of these devices, if you were able to go up to like the vendors area, we have some of these devices for you to try out. I believe we're table, I don't remember, I think 9 possibly. So for daily living and dressing, we have adaptive and sensory clothing for folks, like a resource guide to kind of let folks know different types of clothing that are out there. So say if you have a difficult time with putting buttons on or doing buttons, well, then you can get a magnetic flannel. And so they have magnets in there and they kind of just shut, rather than doing buttons. We have magnets, shoelaces. So these would go onto your, standard shoelaces. And then instead of tying them, you just kind of can close them shut. And again, your shoelaces are tied when the magnets touch. We have different devices for cooking. So one of my favorites is the double-sided spatula. So this is like your standard spatula, but turned into tongs. So if you're making a grilled cheese, you're able to, kind of just grab onto the grilled cheese and flip it. We have another device that's called the liquid level indicator, and you can put this on the side of your coffee cup. I've heard people use it for like their dog bowls, so like filling up their dog bowls. What it does is when it feels the liquid, it's gonna beep and let you know, hey, you're at the top. But then if you keep on filling, it's really gonna beep and say, okay, it's time to stop. We're gonna spill. We're gonna go over to the top of it. So that's great piece of AT that's out there. We have a button aid. So again, if you have a difficult time doing up your buttons, this kind of just slides over your button and goes into the hole where the button's supposed to go. There is, and I always forget the name of this device. So it's a little square box and it helps you tell what color, like say if you're wearing, today I'm wearing a teal shirt, and say I'm not quite sure what color this is. I may have low vision or I'm blind, and you want to make sure that your shirt and pants are matching. You hold up this device to your shirt and it's going to tell you teal, color teal. Different can openers and jar openers, like I was talking about. There's a device down at the bottom of the screen that's called a Pampered Chef jar opener. And this kind of has rigid teeth in the triangle part, and you kind of put it on the size of what the lid is on the jar, and it gives you that leverage to kind of twist open. And we also have like automatic ones of those too. You just set the jar opener on top of the jar, you click a button and it's gonna pop open the jar lid for you. Yes. Yes. What's that? So you could contact us and I will pass out flyers at the end. You could give us a call or email, whatever you prefer doing. And then what we can do is you say, hey, I have low vision, I need help in the kitchen, or I need help with magnifying glasses, or whatever it may be. We would come out to your house, we would show you how the device works, and then you can go and purchase it from wherever we purchased it from. I'm sorry, I can't. No, we do not. And I was just thinking about, at the beginning of the year when they came out after the Super Bowl, I was like, oh, we need those in our inventory. We do have the Orcam, so that's kind of, it's not as cool as the glasses, and it's more expensive than the glasses, but we do not, and we kind of have put a pause to our spending rate at the moment because we are a federally funded program. We have to definitely watch our purchases. So, but when we get the go-ahead, that is going to be one item on our list that I want us to get. And I didn't tell you, so thank you for asking. So we are located in East Lansing. But like I said, we travel everywhere and we come to the individual's home, park, library, wherever they're comfortable with us going to. So on the slide, I have AT for health and safety, so medicine reminders again. The one on the bottom of the screen that's red and green boxes, this kind of is a whole month or whole calendar day med reminder. And you can set a timer on there to be like, hey, it's time to take your medicine. It tells the time, it tells the date, and it tells the day of the week. And then when you're done taking it, you flip it over so then it's red and it's like, you know that you've taken those pills. Again, another medicine reminder or pill reminder that is, it's rainbow colors and it has morning, noon, and night on there. There are GPS tracking, so say if you have young children or older adult who has dementia or anyone that you want to track, it's called Angel Sense, so it's like almost like an Apple AirTag. And there's an app on your phone that you can download. It has features on it that, like, say your child's supposed to be going to school and they didn't make it to school. You know, maybe the bus took a different route or there was an accident and they're not at school when they're supposed to be. It will send an alert to your phone saying, hey, Tommy's not at school. So that's a cool thing. Or if your child elopes, then you are able to know that Tommy has eloped. We also have different types of, I guess you would call them faucet extenders. So say if it's hard for you to reach where the faucet is coming out, this extender is just a little plastic piece that you put on your faucet. And what that does is it sends the water to you. Or sink extenders is what they call them. Motion censored lighting, we have different options to put along your stairways. A lot of folks use them to go out to their garage, or in their bedroom when they get up in the middle of the night, the light comes on. So you're able to see what's going, better. And then the cute little frog who's sitting in an inner tube, that is a bathtub temperature gauge. So if you worried about the water, you may not have feeling in your hand, or may not be able to reach the water and you're trying to put your child in the water. This is a great tool to have to make sure that the water is not too hot. So self-regulation and sensory, we have companion pets, which if you were at our booth, then that's how you know that you were at our booth, is with the companion pets. We have a golden retriever dog. This is basically a robot pet we have dog and cat versions. The cat will purr, it does the vibration. If you're seeking, if that's calming to you, a cat purring, then this is definitely beneficial for you. Same with the dog, and the cat meows, and I think rolls over as well. The dog will bark and pant, and they both react to sound. So like if you're speaking to it, it's gonna react, meow, bark, whatever it's doing. They are also great for folks who might have a difficult time taking their dogs out to go potty. If they live in a facility where they're not allowed to have dogs or cats or birds, these are a great option. And you don't have to clean up their mess. Or feed them. You don't have to remember to feed them either. So they're pretty cool. A lot of folks love them. During COVID, we were giving a lot out for folks to combat social isolation. And a lot of folks in the UP like them because, again, they're combating that socialization. Older adults are like, my dog died 5 years ago, and I just can't take care of another one. So this is something that we let them try out. We have a whole slew boxes and boxes of different types of fidgets for folks to work out, and that's another cool thing. So say you yourself use fidgets, and you don't like how some fidgets feel. So some might be sticky, some might be crunchy, some might be, there's just all types of fidgets out there. That's why it's cool to try out these fidgets, because the Oh No rollers that I was talking about earlier, those are $64. So, and they come in different textures, and they come in different weights. So it's good for you to try them out before you go and purchase them. Now, fidget cubes and stuff, those are, those are kind of a dime a dozen type of thing. So we let folks try those out as well. Sensory sack. This is kind of like a pillow that goes, or a blanket that goes onto your entire body and you can zip up. And it just gives you that like sensation of, I guess feeling comfort in it. Just, I don't know, it helps a lot of folks out. And then we have the Mightier game. So say if you have difficult time, playing video games and you get too excited and you're like, hey, like I need something that's gonna calm me down. This monitors your heart rate and says, okay, you need to calm your body. We're gonna take a minute for a second or a minute and just kind of see if this works out for you. And then once your heart rate comes down, then you can continue to play the game. And it's also like the game will get harder if your heart rate is up. So it kind of helps do that regulation. Yeah. Price on them, I believe, so I think it's like $126. There are cheaper versions on Amazon, but they're not as good as the ones that we have in our inventory. The ones that we have in our inventory are called Joy for All Pets. And they make dogs, cats, and a bird. And the bird is called the Squawker Walker. So it's made to put on your walker and it will whistle. So we are not a huge fan of the bird because it kind of gets annoying afterwards. But, some folks like it. AT for mental health. We have a mental health specialist who knows all of these things quite a bit. Different apps and such. I only know what I have used. So one app that I have used is called the Calm app. And so this does asks you how you're feeling this morning. And your options could be happy, excited, grateful, relaxed, all the way down to angry, sad, stressed. And then judging by that, it's going to kind of walk you through different types of meditation that you could possibly do to help you calm your body or continue feeling happy. For me, as a neurodivergent person, meditation in this form does not help. So what I have found that is my meditation is when I can focus on something other than trying to focus on it in my mind, if that makes sense. So for example, I just got done with a webinar about mental health and birding. And I thought about it after the webinar and I'm like, that's why I'm calm while I'm birding. I'm focusing on trying to find different birds, and that's my meditation for me. Or when I go out fishing and I'm focusing on what lure I'm using, the way that the river's flowing, all of those different sensories that are impacting me, that's my meditation. So apps and meditation of mindful meditation might not be for everyone. There's different avenues out there. So there are apps for breathing, focusing, PTSD, and coping skills. Let me take a drink real quick. So AT for memory, as someone had mentioned earlier, reminders. They are great. Everyone needs a reminder every once in a while. So a bunch of smart devices, cell phones, iPads, tablets, and watches. So like we talked about earlier, the Alexa is great for reminders. One of my coworkers has her Alexa set to remind her every single day to take her medicine. And you can set it to whatever you want. I think hers says, hey, it's time to take your medicine. Did you take your medicine? And it'll just keep on going and going and going until she like makes it quiet. So that reminds her to take her medicine. You can do shopping list on your phone. So I know Siri, I don't know if Google does it. I haven't practiced that on my Android phone, but I know Siri will. You can say, hey Siri, add milk to the shopping list. Watches, Apple Watches. I personally wear a Garmin watch that just all my notifications come to my watch, so therefore my reminders come to my watch. My watch also helps with like my heart rate. Again, when I was like talking about the mightier game thing, my watch will tell me like, hey, your heart rate's a little high, we probably should calm down. I can set a reminder on there to drink water. I can set a reminder on there like, you know, hey, it's time to get some rest. You didn't get a lot of sleep, so let's rest today. So watches can be definitely helpful for that as well. And then we do have a watch that is for like a bathroom reminder. So if someone needs reminding that, hey, it's time to go to the bathroom, you can set a timer for that of like, hey, bathroom time. Or some people like me forget to eat, so it's like, hey, it's time to eat type of thing. So you can do all sorts of reminders. And then Google also has like, I can, you know, I'm gonna use my phone as a demonstration. Hey Google, what's the time?
It's 1:27 p.m.
So you can use your app, tell you, and set reminders. So I can be like, hey Google, tell me my parking is gonna be up at 1:30.
Here's what I found on the web.
Oh, she's gonna tell me what she found on the web. But it could set a reminder if I use the correct verbiage. No, so this is through Google. Well, my calendar is my main source of reminders. And then Google Assistant.
Or if you have to do it once in an update, it switches you over to Gemini.
Yeah, which I turned Gemini off. Apple's Siri. Yeah, Siri will, you can ask Siri, tell Siri. Same thing as Google, yep. All right, so we're gonna go through this. AT for reading. Audio books are a great source of AT. If you're blind, low vision, if you need that audio cue, sometimes you can combine it and you have your visual cue of actually the hard copy book, and you can also listen to audio. Pictures, visual books, recipes, and instructions. So we have a bunch of different recipe books that have like large images in them, large print, and some don't even have words in them. So you just look by picture. Reading pens, we do have the C pen and the Orcam Read, and the regular Orcam too. Those kind of read what's on the page. The C pen you kind of put over top of words on the book, and that will tell you what you're going over top of. These kind of can get pricey, so we like folks to try them out. Sometimes they're not the greatest pieces of AT out there, and they're, like I said, we want you to try them out before you go and buy them. And then something as simple as like a reading, I call it a reading ruler. This goes over top of if you're reading a book, and it highlights the line that you're gonna read. So with me, it's difficult for me to like stay focused on the one line. And sometimes, often, I read ahead before I finish the sentence, the first sentence I was supposed to read, and so it's really difficult for me to focus on that. So the reading ruler kind of helps you stay on track. It's going to highlight up that page or that line that you're supposed to be reading, and it can be extremely beneficial. Not the reading ruler, but the C pen and the OrCam Read do. AT for note taking. So there are smart pens, Live Scribe Echo Pen and Live Scribe Symphony. I believe that the Echo Pen you write in a notebook, and it can transfer to your computer. All your note-taking things can transfer to your computer, and then I believe they can be read out to you from your computer. What's that?
Braille displays or braille note takers?
We do not. Yeah. Real expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, we can definitely always look into seeing like how expensive.
I think They're the like-
cheapest is about $500 or $600 for the Orbit Readers.
Yeah,
I think.
and then the one that I have is like $4,000.
Ooh, that's real expensive. Yeah. I wish that we could purchase that and try to loan that out. I like the OrCam, it goes for like $1,400, and that's where you put it. I believe I might have a slide. I might not. The OrCam clicks on a pair of glasses, and you'll be able to click the button on the side, and it will tell you what you're looking at. So if you're at a restaurant and you're looking at a menu, it'll read off the menu to you. It can tell you currency. It can tell you what the room looks like or who's in front of you. You can set it to like if your son or daughter or grandchildren are with you, whoever, and you can have it know what their face looks like. So you can say, "This is Sally in front of me," and then the next time they see or OrCam sees Sally, it's going to say Sally's in front of you. So, and if you don't have the person in there, then it will tell you like individual standing in front of you with brown hair and wearing a gray shirt or something like that. Yes. It's out loud. It's out loud, but if you want to wear, if you wear hearing aids, you can Bluetooth it to the hearing aids. So the Seeing AI app is just on your phone. This would be a device that would kind of hook onto my glasses, like how I'm holding the clicker up if I was wearing glasses, and it has a little lens at the end of it. Yes, and I honestly think that the Seeing AI app is better than the OrCam, and it's free. The Seeing AI app is free. Yes. Yeah, a couple years ago they switched to Android. They came to this side. AT for writing. So different types of pencil grips can be extremely beneficial for folks. There's a device that's called a pen again that kind of looks like a wishbone, and it's just a different way to hold your pen. There is a writing bird that is almost like a mouse clicker that you would use for a computer, and you can stick your writing device in there and kind of draw with that. Arthwriter, which we're really sad that they stopped making these. So it basically is a ball that you can stick a pencil through, and it just kind of gives you that extra grip onto a pencil or a pen or whatever you're using. But a lot of folks, because they stopped making the Arthwriter, have resorted to a tennis ball that they can poke a hole in, and then they can put the pencil through. And it kind of does the same thing. Different style grips, like I said before, we have big foam ones, we have little foam ones, we have rubber ones, whatever, just you can try them all and see if they work. AT for crafting, we have stuff for paper crafting, painting, and fiber arts. So one of the images on the slide is of a little kid in a wheelchair, and attached to him is a big roller. And on this roller, there's a design on there. I'm not quite sure what the design is, but it's attached to his wheelchair. The roller above it has a paint slot, so you can put paint in there. And then when the individual rolls around, it's going to paint a big mural on the ground. So you don't have to get on the ground and paint. Say if you're not able to hold on to paintbrushes, this is a great way. And this also comes in chalk form as well. There are electric scissors that can cut paper with just the press of a button. You kind of just guide the scissors through paper. I think it can go up to thin sheet metal. There are Braille coloring books out there. For fiber arts, there's crochet hooks. And I believe this one has a light at the end of it, and it has counting, so it can help you count rows and stitches. I'm not a crocheter, so I'm not quite sure the scientific words for that. And again, different style paintbrushes for grips. AT for gaming, and I'm not a gamer, so we're gonna bear with me on this. Adaptive controllers. The controller has different types of, I guess, toggles on it. You can have different textures. You can have larger toggles. Also, you can, I guess, Xbox has a controller where it's like big buttons, I guess, and you can connect different, have it do different commands. So like if you want to jump in the game, you can have the big button be a jump. If walking forward, you want to have one of the buttons walking forward, then you can press, have that being walking forward. So you can adapt it to whatever you want your buttons to be. There's different switch activated switches. So the switch, you can hook up to anything electronically. So we use a bubble machine. There's like a dinosaur bubble machine, and say if you have a difficult time turning on the dinosaur bubble machine, you can just hit a switch, which could be in any shape. There's circled ones, there's squared ones, different, like how much pressure you need to put onto the switches. You can decide what one works best. We have different tactile dice and large dice, and different card holders. So if holding a bunch of cards is difficult for you, there are card holders out there. All right, outdoor for AT for outdoor recreation. So we have 7 different types of e-bikes, ranging from, we have 3 different style trikes, so 3-wheeled bikes. We have, and then the rest of them are 2-wheeled bikes. They have something called pedal assist on them, meaning when you pedal, it's gonna help you pedal, but you can also use the throttle like a motorcycle. They all range in how fast they can go, the speeds. So the image in the slide is of a kid on a trike, and this trike can only go, I think, the fastest I have gotten it to go is 9 miles an hour. Some of our other ones, like the 2-wheeled bikes, can go up to 28 miles an hour. So they can go real fast. We have AT, let me see what the next slide is. This kind of has a lot of stuff on it. AT for fishing. So we have automatic fishing reels where you cast like you would a standard reel, but then you just press a button and it's gonna reel in the fish for you. We have different fish grabbers. So if you're getting like if you don't like the way the fish feels, then you can grab it with the fish grabber, or if the fish has a lot of teeth, then you don't want to grab in the mouth of the fish. So fish grabber is great for that. Stuff for camping. So there are tents out there that are easy setup tents. So like if you think about a canopy, that's just, you have four posts in the canopy, and you just pop those up. That's what this tent, it's kind of same design, but it's enclosed. Headlamps are a great thing for daily task. Also camping, hunting, fishing, whatever you're doing, headlamps are great. I always tell folks that I use headlamps while I'm working on the car. I use headlamps when I am cutting my child's fingernails. Like, I use headlamps all the time. Marshmallow roasting sticks are another form of AT for camping. So this is telescoping, and this particular one on the screen, like I said, it's telescoping, but it also has a reel on it. So when you reel it, it rotates your marshmallow for you. And it makes the perfect marshmallow. And then that's also great for someone who might not have the dexterity to, twist a marshmallow roasting stick. They can reel it like a fishing reel. All right, so the middle image on the slide, I have a lot of AT. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Like support when you play an instrument, because like a saxophone weighs a half ton.
Right.
And some people can't deal with the neck strap per se.
Right, and so we don't have anything, and that is something that we were wanting to get into before we have a pause on our funding. And we wanted to get into music because music is as important as outdoor recreation is, you know. We definitely can send resources of like things that we think might work for you, but we don't have anything in our inventory for holding instruments, but we love doing research. So if you reach out to us, then we definitely can see what we can find out there. So the middle image on this slide, we have a bunch of different types of AT. So we have, and it's basically for birding setup. So we have a window mount attached to the window, and this is kind of a device that clamps onto the window. And then on top of that, we have a binocular holder adapter. So that attaches to the window mount. And then attached to the binocular adapter, we have a set of binoculars on there. And then attached to the binoculars, we have a phone adapter. And so with all of this, what's able to happen is it's holding your phone in place. And if the binocular strength isn't strong enough for you, you can zoom in even more through your phone and take a picture, video, whatever it may be. Now, I don't recommend this to anyone who is the driver unless if you're stationary, but the passenger can definitely set it up and have it there. I always use the example of Seney Wildlife Refuge in the UP. That's a drive-through bird animal sanctuary where you can drive through, and a lot of folks use this type of AT. And then I have an image of a handcuff that kind of grips your hand around a fishing pole. So if you don't have the strength to hold a fishing pole, this kind of velcros your hand to the fishing pole. And then on the other hand, you have another cuff on, and this is kind of going to attach to the reel. And you, instead of holding onto a little fishing reel, you're able to just kind of place your hand on it and reel the fishing rod in a whole hand movement rather than just a little. I'll go a little more in depth because with outdoor recreation, there's always new things coming and things going and all the things. One thing that I found is an app that I use on my phone quite a bit for bird watching is called the Merlin app. And you can bird by ear with this app. So you can, hold the Merlin app up and press start record, and it will record the bird sounds around you. And then when it finds a bird, say a robin, it's going to be like, that's a robin. And then you can mark on there, this is my bird. You're able to, have your life list on there. You can also bird by sight. So say if you see a huge bird and it was flying, these are all questions it asks. Like, what was the size of the bird? Was it a robin size or was it eagle size? And then let's say I'm going to look up an eagle. So I'm going to click eagle size. And then what colors was it? You can tell the colors. And then what was it doing? Was it flying? Was it eating? Was it standing in water? What was it doing? And then we're going to say it's flying. And it asks your location. So it uses GPS to find your location. And then it gives you a whole list of birds that it might be. Something cool that I found out is it does work with screen readers as well. So you can completely bird by ear if that is what you want to do. All right, so takeaway, we're here to help. We provide demonstrations on how to use the devices, and if you're interested in using a device but you're unsure if it will work for you, worried about funding, or if your organization does not have the capacity to learn a new device, we can help. You can borrow the devices and try them. The device does not have to be in our lending library, and we are free. Contact us. So I have my email up there, which is Jaleesa, Jileesa, at mi-at.org. And then our general contact information is 517-333-2477.